I was standing outside my childhood home, with a backpack slung over my shoulder when my father said the words that would change everything. "Do not come back until you apologize to your sister." His voice was cold, final, like a judge delivering a sentence. I looked at him for a long moment, then at my mother standing behind him with her arms crossed, then at my sister Sloane, watching from the living room window, with tears streaming down her face. Tears I knew were fake. I felt something shift inside me, something that had been bending for 26 years, finally snapping clean. I took a breath and said the two words that would end my family as I knew it. "All right." Then I turned around and walked away. Before I tell you what happened next, and trust me, it gets intense, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. If you have ever felt like the invisible child in your family, the one who could never do enough while someone else could do no wrong, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to hear how this story ends, because what my family did after I left, they never saw it coming. And what I did in response, it destroyed everything they thought they knew about me. Now let me take you back to where it all started. My name is Artemis. I am 26 years old, and up until that moment on the front porch, I had spent my entire life trying to earn a place in my own family. Let me paint you a picture of the people who shaped my world for better or worse. My father, Douglas, was a construction engineer. 60 years old, 6 feet tall, with gray hair, he kept military short, and a handshake that could crack walnuts. He believed in traditional values, hard work, and a very specific vision of what family meant. In his world, loyalty was everything. Questioning him was betrayal. My mother, Lorraine, had been an elementary school teacher before she retired. She was softer than my father in appearance, with kind eyes and a gentle voice, but when it came to family dynamics, she was steel wrapped in cotton. She never contradicted Douglas, never defended me. She kept the peace, and peace meant keeping Sloane happy. Then there was Sloane. My little sister, 3 years younger than me, 23 years old and beautiful in that effortless way some people are. Long auburn hair, green eyes, a smile that could charm anyone within 30 seconds. She knew exactly how to work a room, how to make people feel special, how to get what she wanted, and what she wanted she always got. We lived in a 2-story house in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. Douglas had built half of it himself, which he reminded us of constantly. I lived in the converted attic space, a room that had been mine since I was 16, when Sloane decided she needed the bigger bedroom on the second floor. I had given it up without protest, like I gave up everything else. I was still living at home at 26, not because I could not afford to leave, but because I was saving to buy a house. I had $45,000 in my savings account, carefully accumulated over 6 years of working at a tech company downtown. 6 more months, I had told myself. 6 more months, and I would have the down payment I needed. I could wait that long. Looking back now, I see how naive that was. I thought I was being smart, strategic. I did not realize I was just prolonging my own suffering. The pattern had been there my whole life, but you do not see patterns when you are inside them. You just think it is normal. When I was 16, and Sloane was 13, she broke my laptop. Not accidentally. She borrowed it to play games without asking, got frustrated when it lagged, and slammed it shut so hard the screen cracked. When I confronted her, she cried. When Douglas got involved, he bought Sloane a brand new laptop and told me to fix mine myself. "She is younger," he said. "Be the bigger person." I spent 2 weeks working odd jobs to pay for the repair. When I was 18, I got a full academic scholarship to study computer science at the University of Washington. It was a huge deal. Full tuition, room and board for 4 years. My parents took me out to dinner at Applebee's. We ate fried appetizers and they said they were proud. That was it. 2 months later, Sloane made the cheerleading squad at her high school. We had a party that lasted 3 days. Douglas invited aunts, uncles, cousins I had not seen in years. He gave a speech about how proud he was. When I pointed out the difference in reaction, Douglas said, "Academics come naturally to you." This is a big deal for her. 2 years ago, Sloane asked to borrow $5,000. She wanted to start an online clothing boutique. She had a business plan, she said. She would pay me back in 6 months. I gave her the money because that is what family does, right? The boutique failed after 3 months. She never sold more than a dozen items. When I asked about repayment, she cried. Douglas pulled me aside and said, "Family does not keep score, Artemis. Do not be petty." I never saw that money again. This was my normal. This was the water I swam in. I had learned to keep my head down, meet expectations, and accept that in this family, I would always come second. I had made peace with it, or so I thought, until the night of the dinner party. It was a Saturday evening in late April. Douglas had just gotten a promotion at work, a big one, and he wanted to celebrate by hosting dinner for his colleagues and his new boss. He told all of us that we needed to make a good impression. "This is important for my career," he said. "I need you all on your best behavior." Lorraine spent the entire day cooking. Roast chicken, garlic, mashed potatoes, 3 different vegetables, homemade rolls, apple pie from scratch. I helped set up tables and chairs, vacuumed the living room, made sure the house looked spotless. Sloane showed up at 5 in the evening, 2 hours after I had started helping. She was wearing an expensive dress I knew our parents had bought her, and makeup that looked professionally done. She looked perfect. She always did. The guests arrived at 6. Douglas introduced everyone. His boss, a man named Richard, seemed nice enough. There were 4 other colleagues, all engineers like my father, all middle-aged men with firm handshakes and opinions about everything. Dinner went smoothly at first. Lorraine's food was delicious. Everyone complimented her. Sloane was the center of attention, talking about her recent trip to Europe, a 3-week vacation to Spain, France, and Italy that our parents had funded. She had stories about Barcelona, about the Eiffel Tower, about gondola rides in Venice. Everyone laughed at her jokes. She was charming. She was always charming. Then Richard turned to me. "So Artemis, your father tells me you work in tech. What do you do?" I felt a small surge of hope. Finally, a chance to be seen. "I am a senior engineer at a software company downtown. Right now I am leading development on an artificial intelligence project that analyzes consumer behavior patterns. It is pretty exciting. We are seeing some really promising results, and there is talk of it becoming one of our flagship products." Richard leaned forward, interested. "That sounds fascinating. How large is your team?" "I manage 12 engineers. We have been working on this for about 18 months, and we are finally seeing it come together. If the launch goes well, there is a good chance I will be promoted to senior engineering manager." I saw Douglas smile slightly. For a moment I thought maybe this was it. Maybe this time he would be proud. Then Sloane laughed. It was a light tinkling sound, but it cut through the conversation like a knife. "Oh, Artemis always makes things sound more impressive than they are. He is basically just a code monkey." The table went silent. You could have heard a pin drop on the carpet. I felt my face go hot. Code monkey. She had reduced 6 years of hard work, late nights, complex problem-solving, and leadership to a dismissive joke. In front of my father's boss. I kept my voice level. "Actually, I lead a team of 12 engineers, but sure, call it whatever you want." Sloane's eyes went wide, innocent. "See, so sensitive. Cannot even take a joke." The conversation moved on. Richard asked Sloane another question, and she launched into another story. I sat there, face-burning, hands clenched under the table. No one said anything. No one told Sloane that was inappropriate. No one acknowledged what had just happened. After the guests left around 10, I stayed behind to help clean up. I was in the kitchen, washing dishes, when I heard Douglas in the living room talking to Sloane. "You were wonderful tonight, sweetheart." Really charmed everyone. Richard could not stop talking about how delightful you are. I scrubbed a plate so hard I almost broke it. Not a single word about how she had humiliated me. Not a single acknowledgement that I had been disrespected in front of people who could affect my father's career, people I had tried to impress for his sake. That night, lying in my attic bedroom, I made a decision. 6 months. I would stick to my plan, save my money, and then I would leave. And once I left, I would cut contact. Completely. They did not deserve access to me. That decision felt powerful. It felt like control. I had no idea how much sooner everything would fall apart. 2 days later, on Monday morning, I woke up at 6:30 to get ready for work. I showered, dressed, grabbed my laptop bag, and headed downstairs. I needed to leave by 7:15 to beat traffic. I opened the front door, stepped outside into the cool April morning, and stopped dead. My car was destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but badly damaged. My Honda Civic, a 2019 model I had bought with my own money 3 years ago, had a crumpled front bumper. The right headlight was completely shattered. There was a long scrape of missing paint down the passenger side, the kind of damage that happens when you sideswipe something solid. My stomach dropped. I walked around the car, slowly documenting the damage. This was going to cost at least $2,000 to fix, maybe more. I had not driven anywhere the night before. I had been home all evening, which meant someone else had driven my car. I went back inside. Sloane was in the kitchen eating cereal, still wearing her pajamas, hair in a messy bun. She looked up when I walked in. "Oh, hey, you were up early. Who drove my car last night?" She blinked, then shrugged. "Oh yeah, I borrowed it. Did not think you would mind." My jaw tightened. "You crashed my car." Crashed is a strong word. It was just a little bump backing out of a parking spot. Do not be so dramatic. I pulled out my phone and showed her the photos I had just taken. "Sloane, this is not a little bump. The entire front end is damaged." "What happened?" She rolled her eyes. "I told you. I was backing out of a parking spot at this club downtown and I misjudged the distance. It is fine. Cars get dinged all the time." "Did you leave a note? Exchange insurance information with whoever you hit?" She looked at me like I had asked her to solve a calculus problem. It was like 2 in the morning. No one was around. "Relax. So you committed a hit and run." "Oh my God, you are being ridiculous. Sloane, leaving the scene of an accident is illegal. And this damage is going to cost at least $2,000 to repair. You need to pay for this." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Pay for it with what money? I am between jobs. Right now, remember. Between jobs." She had been between jobs for 8 months. "So, file an insurance claim," she added, taking another bite of cereal. "My insurance premium will go up if I file a claim. This will cost me money for years. You did this. You need to take responsibility." I said, "It is fine. Just fix it and move on." That was when Douglas came down the stairs. He must have heard our voices rising. He walked into the kitchen in his bathrobe, hair sticking up on one side. "What is going on?" I explained the situation. I showed him the photos. I told him about Sloane taking my car without permission, crashing it and leaving the scene. He walked to the window and looked outside at my damaged Civic. He stood there for a long moment, arms crossed. Then he turned back to me and said, "It is not that bad." I stared at him. "Not that bad. Artemis accidents happen. Your sister did not mean to. She took my car without asking, crashed it, committed a hit and run, and is now refusing to take any responsibility. This is not an accident, Dad. This is irresponsibility and possibly criminal behavior." Sloane's eyes started to water. Here we go, I thought. Right on cue. "I said I was sorry," she whispered, voice trembling. "No, you did not," I said flatly. "You have not said sorry once." "Do not make your sister cry," Douglas warned. "Are you serious right now? She destroyed my car." Lorraine appeared in the doorway. She had clearly been listening from the other room. "Artemis, why are you always so harsh with her? She is going through a tough time." I almost laughed. It came out as a sharp exhale. "Tough time. She just got back from 3 weeks in Barcelona." Douglas held up his hand. "That is enough. Here is what is going to happen. I will pay for half the repair. You two split it." "Why should I pay anything? I was not even in the car." "Because she is your sister. Family helps each other." And there it was. Family helps each other. The phrase I had heard my entire life, always deployed when Sloane needed something, never when I did. Something inside me cracked. Family helps each other. My voice was quiet now, dangerous. Where was this energy when she never paid me back? $5,000. Where was this energy when she broke my laptop? Where was this energy? Every single time. I needed support, and got nothing. Douglas's face went red. "Here is what is going to happen. You are going to apologize to your sister for yelling at her and making her feel bad. Then we will figure out the car situation calmly like adults." The room tilted. Apologize for what? For being aggressive and making her cry. I looked at Sloane. She was crying now, real tears streaming down her face, but I knew her. I had known her for 23 years. These were not tears of genuine hurt. These were tactical tears. These were tears designed to shift the narrative, to make her the victim, to make me the villain. "No," I said. Douglas's eyebrows shot up. "Excuse me," I said. "No. I am not apologizing. I did not do anything wrong. You are being disrespectful and selfish." Something in me snapped completely. All the years, all the incidents, all the times I had swallowed my anger and been the bigger person came flooding back. "I am being selfish. Dad, do you hear yourself? She crashed my car, broke the law, and somehow I am the bad guy for being upset about it." Lorraine stepped forward. Artemis, just say you are sorry. Why do you have to make everything so difficult? You want to know why? Fine. Let us talk about difficult. My voice was rising now and I could not stop it. When Sloane broke my laptop, I had to fix it myself. When she failed out of community college, you paid for her to try again. When I got a full scholarship, we had one dinner at Applebee's. When she made cheerleading, we had a week-long celebration with the entire extended family. She owes me $5,000 that I will never see again. And now she crashes my car and I have to apologize. Douglas's face went from red to purple. You are keeping score. That is pathetic. No, what is pathetic is watching you bend over backward for someone who takes advantage of everyone around her and never faces a single consequence. Sloane sobbed loudly. I cannot believe you hate me this much. I looked at her, really looked at her. I do not hate you, Sloane. I just see you clearly for the first time. That is it, Douglas said, voice shaking. Get out. The kitchen went silent. I heard the refrigerator humming. I heard a car pass outside. I heard my own heartbeat in my ears. What? Get out of my house. You are suspended from this family until you learn some respect. Lorraine touched his arm. Douglas, maybe that is a little. No. He shook her off. He needs to learn. Pack your things, Artemis. Come back when you are ready to apologize to your sister and to me. I stood there for 5 seconds that felt like 5 hours. Emotions crashed through me. Shock because I had not expected this. Pain because despite everything he was still my father. Anger because the injustice was so profound it felt like I was drowning in it. And then, clarity. Standing in that kitchen looking at 3 people who were supposed to love me, I realized something I should have understood years ago. I had been fighting for a place at a table where I was never meant to sit as an equal. I had been begging for scraps of attention and affection from people who had already decided I was worth less than Sloane. Nothing I did would ever change that. No achievement would ever be enough. No sacrifice would ever be recognized. So I stopped fighting. All right, I said. Douglas blinked. All right, yeah, all right. I will go. He looked stunned. He had clearly expected me to beg, to apologize, to crumble. That was the script. That was how it always went. I caved. I compromised. I made peace. Not this time. Sloane straightened up, tears stopping midstream. Artemis, wait, I did not mean for save it, I said without looking at her. I walked past all 3 of them and headed upstairs. I moved methodically. I pulled my large hiking backpack from the closet and started filling it. Clothes, toiletries, laptop and charger, important documents, passport, birth certificate, social security card. I grabbed the shoebox from under my bed that contained the few photos I cared about, pictures of me alone or with friends. I left every family photo where it was. 20 minutes later, I came back downstairs. Douglas was standing in the living room with his arms crossed, clearly waiting for me to break down. Lorraine was on the couch with her arm around Sloane. My sister was watching me with an expression I could not quite read. Was that triumph in her eyes? Did she think she had won? I walked straight to the front door without saying a word. Where do you think you are going? Douglas called after me. I did not turn around. I opened the door. Do not be ridiculous. Come back inside so we can talk about this like adults. I stepped onto the porch. Douglas came after me. If you walk away now, do not expect things to be the same when you come back. I stopped. I turned around. He was standing in the doorway, backlit by the house lights, looking like some kind of final boss in a video game. This was my last chance to submit, to fall in line, to accept the hierarchy. I am not coming back, I said quietly. He actually laughed. You will be back in 3 days when you realize you have nowhere to go and no one to help you. Goodbye, Dad. I walked to my damaged car, threw my backpack in the back seat and drove away. I did not look in the rearview mirror. I did not cry. I felt nothing but a strange, weightless sense of freedom. I checked into an extended stay America hotel that afternoon and paid for a week. Then I called my best friend from college, Marcus, who lived in Seattle. We had stayed close over the years, despite the distance. He was one of the few people who knew what my family was really like. Dude, he said when I finished explaining everything. You can crash at my place. I have got a spare room. Stay as long as you need. I packed up from the hotel the next morning and made the 2-hour drive north to Seattle. Marcus met me at the door of his apartment with a beer and a hug. Welcome to your new life, he said. The first week was a blur. I worked remotely, which was easy since my job had shifted to mostly remote work during the pandemic anyway. I avoided thinking about my family. I avoided thinking about anything except the immediate tasks in front of me. Get up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. On day 3, Lorraine called. "Honey, come home. Your father did not mean it. He was just upset." "Yes, he did mean it," I said calmly. "And I meant it too. I am not coming back. Artemis, please. We can work this out." "There is nothing to work out, Mom. You made your choices. I have made mine." I hung up. On day 7, Sloane called. Her voice was small, contrite. "I'm sorry, okay, just come back. I miss you. Are you going to pay for my car?" Silence. "Then I do not have the money right now, but then we have nothing to talk about." I hung up and blocked her number. On day 10, Douglas called. His voice was hard. "This is getting out of hand. Be an adult and come home so we can resolve this." "I am being an adult," I said. "That is exactly why I am not coming back." I hung up and blocked his number too. Then I blocked Lorraine. Then I blocked every aunt, uncle, and cousin who tried to call me on their behalf. I changed my entire life in those first 3 months. I opened a new bank account and transferred all my savings. It turned out Douglas and Lorraine were co-signers on my old savings account from when I was a minor. I discovered this when I got a notification about a failed login attempt 3 days after I moved the money. He had tried to access my funds. He had actually tried to take my money. I requested a transfer from the Portland office to the Seattle office at work. Not only was it approved, I got a cost of living salary adjustment that increased my pay by $8,000 a year. I started therapy. I needed to process everything, needed to understand how I had let myself be treated that way for so long. My therapist helped me see the patterns, helped me understand that what I had experienced was a form of emotional abuse called scapegoating. I was not crazy. I was not selfish. I had been systematically devalued my entire life. And I started healing. 6 months after I left, my AI project at work launched. It was a massive success. The company's revenue jumped 30% in the first quarter after implementation. I was promoted to senior engineering manager with a salary increase to $135,000 a year. I rented a beautiful one-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill with huge windows and exposed brick. I decorated it exactly how I wanted, minimalist and clean and peaceful. It was the first space that had ever truly felt like mine. I started dating a woman named Harper. We met at a coffee shop where we both reached for the same book on the community shelf. She was a graphic designer, funny and kind and emotionally healthy in ways I had not known were possible. She met Marcus and my other friends and fit right in. For the first time in my life, I was in a relationship where I felt like a priority instead of an afterthought. A year after I left, I got an email from Lorraine. I had unblocked email at my therapist's suggestion, keeping just one line of communication open in case of genuine emergencies. The subject line read, "We need to talk. Urgent." I almost deleted it, but something made me open it. The email was long, but the core message was simple. Douglas had lost his job 3 months earlier. The company had downsized, and at 62 he was having trouble finding new work. They were behind on mortgage payments. The bank was threatening foreclosure. Sloane had moved back home after losing her apartment. She was not working either. They needed money. They needed help. They needed me. I read the email 3 times. I waited for the guilt to hit, for the old programming to kick in, for the voice in my head to say that family helps each other. It never came. Instead, I felt nothing but clarity. They had made their choices. They had kicked me out for refusing to apologize for something I had not done wrong. They had chosen Sloane over and over and over again. They had taken and taken and taken from me and given nothing back. I was not responsible for saving them, I wrote back. The email was short. "Mom, I am sorry to hear about Dad's job and your financial struggles. However, I will not be providing financial assistance. When I needed support, when Sloane crashed my car and refused to pay when she owed me $5,000, she never repaid. When I was humiliated at Dad's dinner party, you chose her. You told me family helps each other, but only when it benefited Sloane. Dad kicked me out for refusing to apologize for something I did not do wrong. You stood by and allowed it to happen. For the past year, I have built a life where I am valued, respected, and treated like I matter. I will not jeopardize that to rescue people who never valued me in the first place. You taught me that family does not keep score. You were right. so I am not keeping score anymore. I am just moving forward without you. I wish you well, but you are not my responsibility. Artemis. I hit send. Then I blocked the email address. And I felt lighter than I had in 26 years. 6 months after that email, Harper and I were hiking in the Cascades when I stopped at a lookout point with a view of Mount Rainier. I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes before I even finished the question. 2 years after I walked out of my childhood home, Harper and I bought a small house in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle. It has a garden where Harper grows vegetables, and a home office where I work. We adopted a dog, a goofy golden retriever mix named Biscuit. We host dinners for friends. We travel. We laugh. We have built a life that is exactly what we wanted. Marcus is my best man. Harper's family, warm and functional and genuinely kind, has welcomed me completely. Her father asked me about work and actually listened to my answer. Her mother hugs me every time she sees me, like she is genuinely happy I exist. They show me what a healthy family looks like, and it is nothing like what I grew up with. Harper is pregnant now. We are expecting our first child in 4 months, a little girl. We have already picked out her name. We are painting the nursery. We are reading parenting books and taking classes, and terrifying ourselves in the best possible way. I think about my old family sometimes. I wonder if they lost the house. I wonder if Douglas ever found work. I wonder if Sloan ever grew up. But I do not wonder enough to reach out. That door is closed. I closed it, and I am never opening it again. People ask me if I regret walking away. They ask if I feel guilty. They ask if I miss my family. The truth is simpler than they expect. My only regret is not doing it sooner. I do not feel guilty because I did nothing wrong, and I do not miss them because they were never really my family in the way that mattered. I learned something important that day. I walked out with a backpack on my shoulder and 2 words on my lips. Saying all right to disrespect is not weakness. Sometimes it is the strongest thing you can do. It means you are done fighting for scraps at a table where you were never meant to feast as an equal. It means you finally understand your worth. My father thought kicking me out would break me, that I would come crawling back desperate and apologetic. Instead, it freed me. It gave me permission to stop trying to earn love from people who were never going to give it. It taught me that walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. The family that destroyed themselves was not the one I left behind. It was the one I built after, the one made of people who choose to love me, who show up for me, who treat me like I matter. Marcus, who gave me a place to stay without hesitation. Harper, who sees me and chooses me every single day. Her parents, who welcomed me like I was already their son. The friends who rallied around me. That is my family now. And they are everything I never knew I deserved. If you are watching this and you are the scapegoat in your family story, please hear me. You do not have to keep accepting crumbs. You do not have to keep being the bigger person while everyone else gets to be small. You do not have to light yourself on fire to keep people warm who would not do the same for you. You can write a new story. You can build a new family. You can walk away. Sometimes all right is not giving up. It is giving yourself permission to find better. Have you ever been the invisible child in your family? Have you ever had to walk away from people you loved because they could not see your worth? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one, and your experience matters. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel because I share stories like this every week, stories about resilience and healing and finding your way home to yourself. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you understand that you are not alone, that your feelings are valid, and that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is survival. Take care of yourselves out there. You deserve so much more than you have been accepting. Remember that.